don't mean right now.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
That is such a juggernaut thing to say.
What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to SeaWorld Productions. Rumor has it, Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige want Ryan Reynolds and his Deadpool for a huge, the biggest Marvel deal of all time. Now, Deadpool is the kind of character you can have cameo in a bunch of different films, alongside with his Deadpool 3 movie. Now, this doesn't surprise me. Deadpool, I feel like, is the only property that Marvel Studios wants from that 20th Century Fox X-Men universe. That is it, and I don't blame him. James McAvoy's, Professor X, Michael Fassbender, Magneto, great stuff. But it's time to move on. It's time to move on. With the whole Deadpool universe, I am completely fine with taking everything from that Deadpool universe, including my boy Colossus, because I love the way they did Colossus. That was fucking perfect. Not in X2. That's not Colossus or X-Men The Last Stand. But taking that entire universe and bringing it over and growing on it, I think is a fantastic idea. Now, the rumor is Kevin Feige, Scooper Daniel RPK just revealed on his Patreon account that Marvel CCO Kevin Feige is interested in wanting to sign Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds in the biggest deal in the MCU history. By biggest, it is presumed that Kevin Feige wants Ryan Reynolds to agree to be in more MCU projects than any other actor in the franchise has ever signed onto before. And I think Sebastian Stan and Nick Fury probably have the most. Yeah, I think it is. I think Sebastian Stan and Nick Fury do have the most appearances in the MCU. But having Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and have him appear throughout any fucking movie you want in the MCU is kind of crazy and bonkers. I mean, I was always curious about, man, what are they going to do with this whole entire franchise? Like, how are they going to, tell the story of Deadpool in an R-rated, version, because I feel like, obviously Bob Iger said that the R-rated Deadpool will come over to the MCU. And I do think it's smart. They can do the whole, two versions, a PG-13 version and the Deadpool, R-rated version. That's fine. But even if you want to keep him PG, he can be PG in his cameo films and have his original films, his Deadpool solo movies R-rated. That's the way you can do it. But if you lose that R rating, it's gonna fuck with the character, because Deadpool is an R-rated character, and you can't really utilize him as much as you could with that R rating. Come on, the first two films are R-rated, and I can't imagine those two films not being R-rated because they're so graphic. But that's just the character. But I'm really excited, man. I cannot wait to see how legit they're gonna incorporate this Deadpool universe into the MCU. I mean, that not Deadpool, but the whole idea of mutants. You know what I mean? How are they going to adapt that? Like, how is that going to happen? Is it going to be, post-snap created the mutants? Well, that means, you need to come up with a different backstory between Professor X and Magneto, obviously, because of their history. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the hell they're going to do with, the X-Men universe and the Deadpool universe. Because I always say this with the X-Men, hold off on Wolverine. Hold on. Don't introduce a new Wolverine. We don't need it right now. Eventually you can. But focus on the main core of the X-Men. Have Cyclops be the leader that he always should have been, and not in the back seat next to Wolverine. Well, behind Wolverine. You get what I'm saying? I feel like, all these X-Men movies have kind of always been the main centric vocal point of Wolverine. And I think it's time to hold off on that character. I mean, Hugh Jackman did a fantastic job with his run, and it was Logan. So I do think Marvel Studios does hold off on doing Wolverine just for right now. You know what I mean? Maybe do your whole X-Men, the whole intro of having Snowman, you have Beast, you have Magneto, Professor X, you have Jean, you have Cyclops, eventually Storm introduced in the next Black Panther film, if that's even happening. I don't know. So, that's another story. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to incorporate the whole mutants. They can actually use the word mutants now and not miracles. I will always state that shit because it was hilarious when I saw it in theaters at the end of, Winter Soldier. I was like, miracles? Huh? That's Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. What do you mean miracles? You mean mutants? Nah, copyright issues, 20th Century Fox. They own that property. You can't use the word mutants. Such a bummer. But I'm glad they can now. And, the possibilities are literally endless with what they can do with this X-Men. You know what I mean? I'm really excited that Kevin Feige will be behind the wheel and, you know, really navigating, and we get to see the X-Men in full potential. Like, we legit get to see that, and I cannot wait to see that. Along, you know, with the Fantastic Four as well. The full potential of both of these studios, both of these movies they're gonna be massive, and I cannot wait to see what the hell is gonna happen. And, you know, the castings, of course, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh my God, can you imagine, like, a year and a half from now, we'll have like official castings of who's gonna be playing the X-Men, who's gonna be in the Fantastic Four. It's gonna be massive, you guys. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about Ryan Reynolds possibly signing the largest MCU deal in history. Please post your comments down below, and thank you for taking time in your day for watching Zero Productions. Peace.
We out. We out.